second episode today of Unscripted, we have two founders I am very inspired by. Let's start with Ruchir Kanakia, founder at OneAssure, and Deepika Jaikishan. She is the founder and trustee of the Basis Foundation. Welcome you both. Ruchir, let's talk about your journey. What did you start as and what are you solving for?
We are solving to enable people to have some kind of protection so they don't get drained financially, because a simple hospitalization can cost you your entire savings of your entire life. And making more and more people aware, especially in a country where our penetration is much lower than what it should be when it comes to insurance, specifically to health. We have a very high penetration rate when it comes to life insurance, but 95% of the policies sold in life insurance are investment plans. So they technically offer protection, but very limited protection, and they're more like savings products than insurance.
And Deepika, I'm very interested to talk about this powerful community that you are building of women.
What has your journey been like?
I'm personally excited to talk about all the things and all the gaps that exist in insurance, and OneAssure is on an attempt to fulfill. So coming to my background, I've spent over 15 years now in wealth and fintech, then went on to found our own startup, which was then called Basis, a fintech focused on women and money. Early last year is when we actually changed that approach and fully focused on this attempt as a not-for-profit and work closely with fintechs to really help them solve the problems that they're out to solve. To start with, if you just go back and talk to anyone in the fintech industry of whatever platform, whether it's a broking platform, mutual funds platform, insurance platform, what is the user base of women? The answer would probably not be more than 18%. And even in which case, those accounts are most likely being managed by a father, brother, boyfriend, husband, partner, advisor. It could be anyone other than the woman. We've been through COVID. We've been through far too many situations where we've seen that women not knowing what's happening with their own money or not knowing what's happening with the family's money leads to consequences that you'd rather not be in, right? And if it's going to take is some learning, some literacy to help you move forward, help you to not be in a vulnerable situation, then why not? So if the assumption is that, women know it all, where in 2025 we have access to thousands of platforms, unfortunately those platforms are not talking to women. In any platform, any YouTube video, by default, the assumption is you're talking to a man and the example is of a man. Ram did this and then he did that. No one's thinking of a Rachna. So that itself is a big difference. I think traditionally, culturally in India, especially for women, the comfort, the safety, just feeling very vulnerable comes within your community. So for us, community was a no-brainer that if we give women the space where they don't have to worry about, am I being judged? Is this question right or wrong? What is someone going to think of it? Just building a space where she feels confident enough to be vulnerable in the context of money was very important.
See, in terms of your client base, do you also see that gap or difference when, say, a woman is approaching to you for her insurance need versus a man? What is that like?
It does differ, right? And at least for the last 1-2 years, we've seen more and more women participate, right? Let's put in comparison to what it was earlier, that is improving drastically. Secondly, their needs are unique, right? Because they think of a holistic solution for the whole family. Their preference also in terms of why they would select certain things, they understand the value insurance can bring more than men, according to me, to some extent, yes, right? They're more holistic about it.
Yeah.
And especially people don't get up in the morning to buy insurance, right? So someone in their family has gotten sick, right? And that is why they've gone and they're like now curious about what to do. And they look back into their situation and they're like, they don't want to go through this. One big difference is they not only think about them, but they think of their entire family as a whole. What do I need to do to protect it? Versus we've seen a lot of folks, men who will just say, I want this with a closed mind. Women tend to be a lot more open.
Even when it comes to buying an insurance and the conversations I've had with women, that we just need trust, right? We're not looking to hop onto different products. We're not looking to hop onto different platforms. So even when it comes to insurance, say I spoke to this advisor, they gave me the clarity I needed. I was going to buy a policy that otherwise costed me 8,000 rupees. Now they've given me enough knowledge to know that that's not enough. I'm willing to buy a policy that I have to pay a premium of 25,000 rupees. I'm better positioned by investing in the right products. Insurance is your first line of defense. Unfortunately, everyone thinks stocks kar lo, mutual funds kar lo, and I'm good, but insurance is your first line of defense and everything else follows. So if you were to just go back and reflect at the premiums paid, you'll probably see that women have bought policies that are slightly more expensive than men.
Typically, we've just seen that the average policy value itself has increased because of medical inflation.
Yeah.
Because predominantly it's 2x of what your normal inflation is.
Yeah.
And I consider hospitals now becoming more like 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
Because they have different categories of rooms which you wouldn't imagine
yeah.
them to have at this point in time, because you're going there to get out as quickly as possible. In hotels, you typically want to stay longer.
Yeah.
Right? That's the idea.
This is a woman who will potentially be hospitalized, but no one's telling her that, hey, you need a health insurance.
You can't have one product which fits for everyone.